Government officials insist that this is an isolated incident.
Welcome back. Another edition of the Buzz Podcast. Your boy Cujo rolling solo again. This time we got a very special group in the building. We have these lovely ladies in here. We have Lupe, Gaby, who's off camera, Celia, and Magaly. They are from a movement that is going bonfire right now. They're coming from the Sober Street movement. Ladies, Señoritas, thank you all for coming. I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day. I know this is kind of weird because it's a podcast, and it's so you have a camera here. When you guys have a special message, you have a camera here. Lupe, your camera's right there. So we're everywhere. So, starting off, Lupe. What before we get into that? So some FYI, guys, some of our speakers are only Spanish predominantly speaking. So we'll go ahead and do our best to Google Translate live and and try to get the message across. Sometimes if the messages you're going to hear today are very personal, very impactful to these people, to these families, and we want to show the trueness and realness of what the effects of our actions hold. So we have Lupe, who started the movement, right?
Right. I'm founder, and then Magaly's co-founder, and
Okay.
as well as Diana Garcia's co-founder, mother of Isaac Garcia.
And so for the people to know what you're co-founder of, what exactly is Sober Street Movement?
Sober Streets Movement is mothers that have been impacted by their loved ones by a drunk driver, and we're the voices of our loved ones. Mm-hmm. And we started this group to share awareness, to try to change our laws, just more trying to work together as a community and trying to share that don't drink and drive, get a safe ride home. Making sure that people have a choice, that they plan ahead before getting behind the wheel. We're trying to get the word out that no family or no loved one should be silent anymore, that their voices should be heard and not treated like another case number.
Right. Absolutely. It's and it's something that like we were talking about earlier, or I would say it was early. Sorry, I'm lost on my times. We're talking about earlier. It seems like right now it's an epidemic here.
It's a crisis here in El Paso.
Because, like I said, I'm so to date myself, I'm 46 years. 46? What's the day? Yeah, I'll go with 46. I'm 46. I've been clubbing for the better part of half of my life. Clubbing, DJing, partying, the whole nine. And it seems like back then, like it wasn't. I don't know if it's because of the lack of social media, but it wasn't as big of an epidemic as it is now. Would y'all agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah. And so everybody within the movement right now that's here at the panel, y'all have been affected individually by this, right?
Yes.
Your families have all been touched by it, or hit by it in one shape or form or another, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what I want to do is, before we get into everybody's case, Lupe, I know we were just mentioning right now how it seems like now more people are either drunk at the wheel or just don't give a fuck and just want to drive drunk because they think they're special. More than, I guess, when we were younger, and because I thought we were young and dumb, but
Right.
It looks like these guys are beating us now.
Yes.
What do you have any stats on why, or do you ladies have any thoughts on why it's a lot worse now than it was then?
I mean, there's stats that we have. We get from a lot of our sheriff department, from the El Paso Police Department, and we're just seeing a lot of the numbers rising. Mm-hmm. This generation, unfortunately, it's not. I don't know. They don't care. Like they think it's a joke. And if you follow Fit Fam, they put their little comments and, oh, look, there's my compadre or my tío. Look at that. I'm going to go celebrate and open up a can beer,
Yeah.
Let's keep going. And, they think it's a joke, and it's not a joke
Absolutely.
until it happens to you.
Yeah.
And we don't want no other family or a loved one or a friend to go through what we're dealing with.
Right.
Because it's a long life sentence of grief. And people don't get that, until it happens to you. And we're trying to get to these kids and to our generation and that don't get behind the wheel,
Right.
We want everybody to still celebrate, We're not trying to stop alcohol. We're trying to stop people getting behind the wheel.
Yeah.
That's our mission.
Okay. Magaly, what do you think? Why are people, would you agree with that sentiment, or do you have a different idea or thought of why these people are acting the way they act now?
Like you said before, like this generation is like
I told you.
I told you.
I told you.
It's they think they're invincible because they're like, one beer, 2 beer, nothing's gonna happen. I'm good to drive. Because and like Lupe say, we don't want them to start celebrating. We don't want them to stop having fun, because you only live once, right?
Right.
But be responsible. Be responsible and think about your life and somebody else's life.
Yeah.
Amen.
It's comes in hand, because if you wanna celebrate, be responsible and get somebody else to I don't know, to get a ride home or even an Uber. It's cheaper now on Uber than paying fines and paying a ticket or having in your conscience to kill somebody.
Right.
Because you don't know what can happen.
Yeah.
Just up the road.
It's like I said. I mean, I've been guilty of it. I mean, I think everybody has. Let me ask Celia: do you believe that it's the people? The reason people get behind the wheel, the thing that they still get behind the wheel, is because. Is it the machismo? Is it our pride? La pregunta que ando haciendo, Celia, es que si cree usted que la razón que la gente todavía toman y manejan es porque así siendo mexicanos, el machismo que nos pega, que nos creemos, especialmente cuando son hombres, se creen, a mí nadie me manda, más mi madre. ¿Usted cree que esa es la razón o es otra razón?
Es una de las cosas, pero también hay gente americana que toma. Y, o sea, no tiene que ser solamente de una raza.
Sí.
Porque hay colombianos, latinos, de Brasil, de todos lados toman.
Ajá.
Y manejan.
Pero los latinos, nosotros nos ponemos un poquito más necios y nadie nos manda para nada, y que si ya saben cómo me pongo, ¿por qué me invitan? Y creo que es eso, es algo que agarran los hijos de nosotros, de los padres, que nosotros les demos ese ejemplo.
No, porque mi papá a mí no me dio el ejemplo de tomar.
Ajá.
Y él no tomaba, entonces el papá de mis hijos tomaba y mis hijos no toman.
Okay.
Entonces, en parte puede ser que sí los papás, pero no siempre.
No siempre. Okay. So what I was asking, so Celia, the first question I asked, she had said that, it's not only the Mexican, culture, it's all cultures. We're all guilty of it. And I asked her if it was something that we do within the, especially, you know how I am, so why do y'all invite me? If we as parents are setting the example. And she said no, because her parents didn't drink. So, even her own children, which were affected by this, weren't drinking. And it just goes to show that you don't have to be taking part in it to be a victim in it. Do you ladies believe that it's our example of what we set forth for these people, that they're learning either from us incorrectly? We maybe have shown them that at one point, or is it something completely different?
I mean, I'm going to speak on my half is that we all have rules in our home, you know. Everybody has their rules. It's like if you're going to school, the same thing. There's rules there, even at your work. We have choices. And I don't think that our generation's seen that you have a choice. You don't need to drink and drive.
Right.
And when I raised my children, they're two different entities. Steven was a rapper in El Paso. My daughter was a UTEP cheerleader. My older son, very successful in his business that he opened in Dallas, Texas, in Denton, Texas. I mean, you can put the rules down, but these kids decide to go another different route,
Right.
you know? And if you keep enabling them and empowering them, they're going to think that it's okay to keep doing that. And I know in my house, I had to put my foot down.
Yeah.
And I didn't enable Steven. You know, Steven, he wasn't the perfect child, but I was a very strict mom. I was like, you know, you have choices, son. If you break the law, you're going to pay price for breaking
Right.
the law. And you're going to stay there, you know? So everybody has rules at home. And we
Right.
have to learn to follow the rules. And if our law says don't drink and drive, I mean, that's our law. You know, just don't get behind the wheel. There's laws. That's why they set them in place.
Right. Absolutely. Do you? What's your take on this, Ms. Magaly?
Oh, well, let me tell you.
Speak free, ma'am. Speak free. Go to church.
Like Lupe said, like in my case, I have my daughter Anahi, which was my baby, and then I have two other older kids, and I always said rules to them, you know, like you're gonna do something, I'm not gonna, like they say, you do the crime, you do the time,
Amen.
right? So I will tell them, I love them to death, you're my kids, and blah, blah, blah. But if you do something wrong, you're going to pay the consequences.
Right.
And drinking and driving or any other substance, I mean, it's not acceptable. Because you're still basically like a Mexican, right?
Yeah.
You're living under my roof, you're under my rules.
Yeah.
So I would always tell them that. And they know that, especially the drinking and driving, it's one of the worst things they can do.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, we ended up in this situation when we lost my daughter to this
Right.
case, this scenario, and they know that. I don't know that they have to follow rules. They're in my house.
Yeah, it's my way or the highway. That's the way. That's what I mean. If I'm paying for everything, at least you could do is listen.
Yeah, exactly.
So with the movement that you ladies have, the sober street movement, what's the difference between that and the MAD group?
Our difference is that we don't raise money. We
Okay.
don't ask for money, you know, but if people want to donate to us, great. If, you know, we're here to share awareness. We're here to share is that don't get behind the wheel.
Yeah.
Plan ahead. Don't drink and drive. Get an Uber, get a taxi, call
Right.
a friend, or stay where you're at. Our movement also is we're trying to change our laws because these repeated offenders as well as first offenders, they get a slap in the wrist. And the difference that we do is that we advocate.
Okay.
We get the families involved and the really ones that are impacted because a lot of the people that are with MAD, they work for them. You know, they're not really people that are impacted.
They're more employees?
More employees.
Okay.
I mean, that's what we see. But what we Sober Streets is that we're more of a movement that we want change. We want our laws to change. We know that people tell us, you know, you're going to be challenged by, you know, your legislature, you're going to be dealing with the judges, you're going to be dealing with lawyers, and it's the impossible, you know, but we didn't give up. Like I said, we never gave up, and we
Right.
kept pushing and pushing and protesting and trying to get the movement to say enough is enough. No more families to be impacted. So we really put our voices out there.
Okay. For you ladies, so I know like a lot of the times when people are doing protests, and that seems to be super popular nowadays within the last, I guess, political regime that we have. A lot of people, when they protest, they're just out there just because they're following a crowd or not really knowing what they want. It's just because it's the cool thing to do right now, right? And again, there's no way in that this is the cool thing to do when you're losing people, when people are losing their lives. But do you guys actually have suggestions of what laws you guys want changed, or is it just you guys want change in general?
I say we want change as well as in general because there's so many laws. The way they work across is that they tell people you'll only get 5 years or you'll get 2 years, you know, for first time offenders. And we want the laws to change in making harder consequences on that because they keep getting a slap on the wrist.
Okay.
We're pushing for longer years.
Okay.
We're wanting IDs to be flagged that are repeated offenders or first-time offenders. We're trying to get where bars get the ignition of like to blow
Okay.
to see how their BAC is at, because they're getting out of the bar and they're driving, you
Right.
know. We're trying to get the bars to also make sure that they're not over serving, you know. There's so many laws that we're putting in there
Yeah.
that we're trying to really make that change. And Magaly can share also some ideas that we've done as well. And we're just needing a change in our community because it's impacting too many families.
Yep.
Our young children are even being impacted, you
Yep.
know. Like Sophia, 15 years old. I mean, she was a little girl,
Yeah.
you know. And that change, when you see things like that, it's like we go back to what happened to us.
Right.
And it really hurts us because it's like, how can we let this keep going? How can our city allow this? How can our leaders keep allowing families to be impacted this way? She was a child.
Yeah.
How do you tell children, this is the law?
Right. And it's our job as parents, as the elders, to protect those children.
How about the 8-year-old Delilah? She got burned alive. She was on Zaragoza. 8 years old. That was in 2024. She was with her 2 moms, and they got burned alive. And they only gave him for 3 people 25 years.
Damn.
So that's why we're pushing for our lives.
Yeah.
Our laws to change. The laws need to change. They
Right.
need to change for our city. We need checkpoints back. I'm sorry. I know they don't allow in Texas, but because of liberal rights. But what about our loved ones, our voices that we lost of our child?
Yeah.
Where's their rights? Where are their rights? Everybody's worrying about liberal rights and we shouldn't have checkpoints but where are the loved ones we lost? Where are their rights?
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, it's unfortunate that this is an incident that people don't care. I don't want to say they don't care, but it doesn't matter to them until it affects them. And that's something as a new grandpa that I just can't. I mean, I just can't. Like, even me, if I have one drink, I was like, you know what? I'm not driving. And trust me, everybody, I don't know why everybody thinks I'm a drunk. Maybe it's because of the name of the podcast. But if I have one drink, I'm not driving. And I'll tell my friends, hey, we're gonna go here. So look, dude, if we're drinking, pick me up, because I don't trust myself, And I think I'm a pretty responsible person. I don't trust myself, and I mean, hell, to be fair, I've seen the way some of these people here drive sober, and I'm like, God,
Right?
that's scary. And then now you get them inebriated. Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
I can't.
And it's like I said, it's like there's nothing wrong with celebrating, but stay where you're at or get a safe ride home, plan ahead, call an Uber, call a taxi, call a friend. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
We don't need you using your vehicle as a weapon and taking someone's life. It's just better to stay where you're at.
Agreed.
There's nothing wrong with celebrating. There's
Right.
nothing wrong with just enjoying a drink and being home. Just enjoy it. I mean, there's nothing wrong. And if you're at a bar and you've been drinking too much, don't drive.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
And if, like this, my daughter said one time, if you can afford a drink, you can afford a ride.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. What's some of the laws? I know you had said Magaly has some ideas also. What are some of the laws that you wish to change or should be altered?
One of the first thing I believe the judges has to do a lot with them. The bonds are ridiculous low.
Okay.
And they don't even sometimes spend hours in jail. They just get bailed out and that's it. Nowadays, if you on drugs related charges, you get to spend like 20, 30 years for
Right.
drugs. But killing somebody only months, not even sometimes only probation in most of the cases.
Really?
We have one of the moms, right?
Yes.
It has. They gave him probation. That's all he got, probation. So we're just pleading also to the community, like Joe Montoya said on the meeting. It's sometimes when we go to trials or when there's trials, it's the community, that it's the jury.
Right.
That they will be like, oh, they'll think about it and say, well, if we give him this time, it could happen to me, my sister, my brother, and I don't want them to go through 10, 20 years of prison. That's
Right.
why a lot of sometimes the community, they only decide to give probation. Because, I mean, unfortunately, like I said, we're in the border.
Right.
We're in the border, and we're more like, the party Mexican family
Yeah.
that we always are, and that's one of the things that I think it's important that the community know, that they need to understand and put sometimes on the victims' families choose to think and say, you know what, was it worth it, the one night to be partying more than what it's supposed to be drinking,
Right.
and to spend the rest of the life in jail.
Yeah.
So like I said, a lot of people, and they always tell me, my friends, my family, they're like, yeah, but the jury is the one that decide. Exactly. We need to change that too. We need to change that mentality, because I mean, they're not going to stop and think, say, oh shit, oh chingao, la cagué,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, say it, say
Sorry,
it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Because
say
a
it.
lot of people tell
Say
me
it.
that, and they said, oh, la cagué, and they need to stop and think, you know what, yeah, we need to, so people know that there are real consequences.
Right.
Yeah.
And not only, like we said, just a slap on the wrist and that's it.
Yeah.
So we need that for the community to help us and say, you know what, start thinking and say, you know what, he messed it up. Like you said, it's a choice they do to get behind the wheel. It's
Right.
not an accident because
Right.
they decided to do it.
Yeah.
So the community also needs to be in this with us.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's our legislation. I know we have to, that's what our goal is also, to go to Austin, address our legislation. And we went in front of our state leaders and city leaders to help us to change our laws, because the laws are not tough enough. They're just, like I said, a slap on the wrist. And we addressed all what we want in our legislation. And if you see in our Instagram, we have our petition there to share about our laws, that we need our BAC, to be changed. We asked our checkpoints. We asked stricter consequences on these offenders that keep doing what they're doing, get the IDs flagged, get harder on TABC to checking these bars that keep over serving, or letting underage enter the bars. I mean, there has to be something different that needs to change. And we as a community need to come together and say enough is enough. We don't need more victims.
Right.
We don't, we
absolutely.
don't need to keep burying families, and it's changed our lives forever. And that's
Yeah.
why we speak a lot, because we don't live normal, Joe. We don't.
Right.
We see our babies and they're like, they deserve to be here, My son would always say, life is beautiful.
Yeah.
Life is precious. And he would always tell people to prosper, in life. And when he said that to these young ladies that showed up on my son's funeral, they said, man, Stephen he saved my life. And they would talk to me. He would tell me not to try to hurt myself or kill myself or take my life. Your son was something else. He raised him a really good guy, like
Right.
every family that sits here,
Right.
You're going to hear their story and you're going to see, like, oh, man, they deserve to be here,
Right. Absolutely.
like everybody else. And these people that think it's funny, it's a joke, until it happens to them, it's just not right. We just need the word to get out, man. We just can't keep doing this. We can't let this keep going. Get a safe ride home, El Paso. If you all are hearing us, get a safe ride home. Plan ahead. Don't drink and drive. We don't need more families impacted.
Right. No, I completely agree. Gabby, I see you over there shaking your head. If you have something to jump in, let us know, and then we'll get the mic on you, so that way you can go ahead and just jump in with whatever you have on there. I don't want to leave you out of this. So, do you have anything within the laws also that you want to share on?
When, like, talking, not talking about my case, but just thinking about what's going to happen to me and my family. First offenders, they don't get nothing. They don't get nothing. Probably he will, whenever he gets court, he's going to go out. Time served.
Okay.
And for letting a family like mine, incomplete, letting a family like mine hurt for all my life. I'm
Right.
going to miss my son all my life.
Right.
Personally, I got to the United States 2 years ago, and I came with him at his house.
Hold
And
on, we got the
I started. I came here because I thought this was going to be a better life. You know,
right.
I got my residence, and he said, "Mom, vente para acá, mom. Vente para acá. We'll make it together." And no,
Right.
me lo quitaron. It
Yeah.
was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And knowing that this person is gonna get probably off 1 year, 2 years, I don't know. It is unacceptable. The laws right now are re-victimizing my son and us. That's what they're doing. They're giving everybody that decides to drink and drive, they're giving the message that they can do it, they can keep doing it, and nothing is going to happen. And I also want to tell about the first question that you said, that if it was like less right now.
Okay.
I was going to say that this is generational, you know. This is de generación, because there's a writer, es un escritor, that he says that tiempos difíciles hacen hombres maduros. Hombres maduros hacen tiempos fáciles, y tiempos fáciles hacen hombres inmaduros. Nosotros fuimos creados por hombres, por tiempos difíciles que fueron resultado de hombres muy maduros.
Yep.
Y nosotros fuimos creados, estamos creando una generación de gente inmadura. Sí es generacional.
Sí.
Yo pienso que sí es generacional. No quisiera, I don't want to for everybody.
Right.
Because I was also so hard with my kids. Because that's the way I was trained, you know. But it's like es muy común what is happening, the irresponsibility of everybody, of the young people right now.
Right.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I think it is. And it's also, I don't know how to say it in English, but it's a patrones aprendidos, patrones de conducta aprendidos. This is what you learn.
Right.
This is what you get, and you repeat, but everything escalates and everything is worse right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so I guess, you know, you're going to have people that have different opinions, right? Because I know, like I was saying, we've all been through crazy stuff, and I know, like, the negative stuff that I saw from my parents, I made damn sure when I was a parent I didn't do that, because I know how it affected me.
Yes.
But at the same time, the ass whippings, the ass chewings, the yelling, the strictness that I got, I make sure I implement that in my kids, because when you give, you know, for a bad example, if you give a dog a leash too long, they'll do whatever the hell they want. When you shorten that leash, it's night and day. And I think it's something that we as parents, you know, need to, I mean, we all got so much stuff going on, but we can't fail our kids right now, especially with putting our foot down, or sometimes putting our foot in their asses and just being like, look, man, I know. And kids, especially for parents and kids that are listening, when your parents ever tell you, because this was a popular line in my house, this is going to hurt me more than it hurts you.
Oh, yeah.
Trust me, that shit hurts me. You don't think it will, but it does. As a parent, I never want to see my kids sad. Exactly, tough love. I never want to see my kids sad. I never want to see them go through anything. But at the same time, I don't want them to be a knucklehead out there doing something. I want to make sure that I put my foot down, and I let them know, you know, what it is, what I think is right, and how I think we should continue that going forward. But at the same time, some of us, we need to be there. You know, some of us have 4 jobs. Some of us have, stuff outside the jobs that we think is more priority than our children at home, because we think we're providing for them, but what we're doing is a disservice sometimes, because we're kind of forcing them into certain situations that we don't want them to, without really thinking about it, because we think we're providing. But I think just as in general, as people, we just need to do better in general. We need to set priorities and go correctly from that. And like I said, the thing that you said, tough times cause people to tough times make tough people. Easy times make I guess more weak people. It's absolutely true. It's absolutely true, and we need to change that. But how do we change that? That's the question.
It's like a cycle.
Yeah.
We are having weak people, and they are going to create a tough time.
You think so? You think they'll flip their minds?
No, they are not going to flip their minds. They're going to create tough times.
Mm-hmm. That they're going to have to change.
And then tough times are going to create
the tough people.
Tough people. It's like a chain. Yeah. So it's like a matter of time.
That's not good. That's scary.
And also, it's even written on the Bible,
Mm-hmm.
Castiga al niño con vara y lo librarás del Seol.
Mm-hmm.
It's even, it's right.
Yeah.
Está escrito, but we don't listen to God.
Well, there's a lot of people here, like myself, like a lot of people that are atheists. So a lot of people, once the word God comes into a conversation, automatically people just shut out. They shut down. They're like, oh, whatever. But one of the reasons for this podcast is I like to have people of different backgrounds, of different thought processes, because I can't develop as a better person if I don't try to listen to people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just because, somebody believes in, yellow is really blue or blue is really green, whatever. The moment I start saying, oh, these people are crazy or these people are this or that, the moment I start labeling them, I'm doing a disservice to myself, because I'm not able to, actually listen to people. And I think that's something that we've, as a country, or just, especially society with social media, we're too busy trying to worry about, how many likes am I going to get, or how many thumbs up, and instead of really giving a shit about what's really important,
But if you change the words for what I just said, that it was written, castiga al niño con vara y lo librarás del Seol. So let's parafraseamos la frase, we change it a little bit, so it won't have to do nothing with God. Castiga al niño con vara y lo vas a librar de sus problemas. It's a very good advice.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But we don't do that. Not everybody, but we do, or what this generation is like, ay, pobrecito mi hijo, ay, pobrecito, no, sí, mi hijo, tenga, they even give money so you can go drink it. I don't do that with my kids. I don't have that problem with my kids. They don't drink. I have 3 more. They don't drink. But this is what we see.
Right.
This is very general. Mucha gente. A lot of people do that.
Yeah. Now, Celia, I want to ask you, le quería hacer una pregunta. Le pregunté a los demás si hay una que vino hasta que la ley que usted gustaría ver que se puede cambiar. ¿Qué le gustaría a usted que cambiaba? Algo de la ley que anda pasando con esos problemas.
A mí me gustaría que cuando porque la policía agarra a los que toman borrachos, pero no los dejan mucho tiempo, los dejan salir, les ponen muy poca fianza y los dejan salir. Entonces a mí me gustaría que los dejaran más tiempo, porque si un borracho lo dejan detenido 1 mes, tiene que tener conciencia, porque se va a quedar sin trabajo.
Sí.
Entonces va a decir, a mí ya no me van a... Yo no puedo tomar y manejar porque me van a detener y me van a dejar 1 mes detenido.
Y eso viene siendo nomás si lo agarran borracho, no que chocó con alguien. No
Sí.
más que llegue, que lo agarra borracho.
Sí, que los
Ok.
agarren borracho para que no haya más gente muerta como Mario.
Y,
Los deben de agarrar, como decía mi papá, hay que precavir antes de que... Mi papá decía que hay que tapar el hoyo antes de que el niño se caiga.
sí. So, ¿qué para usted y lo que ha pasado con usted, qué es lo que cree usted que debe ser un mínimo que para que cuando agarren a alguien borracho, sin chocar, nomás borracho, qué viene siendo, qué debe ser el mínimo para que sepa la gente que eso no es bien? ¿Qué deben hacer de tiempo? ¿Qué cree usted que debe ser el mínimo?
Deben de dejarlos como un mes detenidos y ponerles fianza de más de $500
Ok.
para que la gente entienda.
Ajá.
Porque si uno no va a entender, si nomás los dejan salir, me agarran y me dejan salir y siguen tomando y siguen manejando. Entonces no, deben de hacer ese cambio. Porque yo también sé que hay leyes que están, pero no las respetan.
Ujú.
Por ejemplo, a mí no se me hace como que injusto, como que los fiscales vayan y le digan a quien mató a alguien, mira, te ofrecemos tanto para que... No, ¿por qué les ofrecen eso? No, ellos no tienen derecho a nada.
Sí.
Los que matan a alguien no tienen derecho a nada porque mataron a alguien, una persona que vale para alguien más.
Ujú.
Si ellos no lo conocen, hay gente como Mario.
Ujú.
Él respetaba las leyes, él era soldado, él cuidaba a su familia. Entonces no es justo.
Sí.
No es justo que los dejen salir y que pasen esas cosas. Entonces deben de haber, porque ahí están las leyes, solo hay que cumplirlas. Los fiscales deben de cumplirlas, los jueces deben de cumplirlas. Los deben no darles, ay, $1,000 de fianza para que salgan, no, deben de darles mucha fianza para que no salgan.
Sí.
Y los papás también deben de entender que sus hijos hicieron algo y deben de dejarlos para que se queden ahí, no porque muchos los dejan salir, pagan fianza y los dejan salir, no. Los papás debemos de entender que los hijos hicieron algo malo y debemos de dejar que los castiguen. Me van a decir, sí, yo tengo un hijo que hizo algo malo y él pagó. A mí me pudo mucho pero yo no lo dejé. Él pagó. Él tenía que pagar porque él hizo algo que no debía.
Ok.
Él es mi hijo y me pudo, pero
Sí.
él pagó.
Okay.
Entonces así tiene que ser. Tiene que ser.
Okay. So just a quick translation. I asked her, if there was a law that she would like to change. She reiterated what you were saying about, spend more time in there. She reiterated that at least a minimum of a month would be satisfactory. Would that be the same with you guys? Would you agree with that, or would you have a different minimum for people to just to get pulled over without any harm to anybody else, just getting drunk at a DWI?
Well, I think their license should be suspended. That would be a law that should be changed. I mean, I'm sorry, you break the law, you're going to pay the consequences,
Right.
you know? It couldn't, you know what the law is. And if the law says don't drink and drive, then don't drink and drive, and you won't be getting that suspended. You won't be booked for a month. You won't have paying fines.
Right.
I mean, it's that simple.
But the only drawback I have with that, and I apologize, is that there's people here driving without licenses regardless because we don't
That's
give
true.
it, we don't care.
Their
You know what I mean?
registration, maybe we need to try to get where they don't get their cars registered either, you know, or can't get no insurance. I don't know. We need to do something. It
Right.
just really needs to be really harder consequences because there's these consequences that are out right now. It's a slap on the wrist. Like Utah. Look at Utah, Arizona, New Mexico. They have checkpoints. Why doesn't Texas have checkpoints?
Damn. We
Yeah.
used to.
We used to in 1997. That's when we had checkpoints, and they took that away.
We had a few. Damn, I want to say about 15 years ago. Because I remember they used to have them here by my house all the time.
Yeah.
They used to have them all the time.
And trust me, did we have a lot of, I mean,
It
it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that notable.
Right.
But look at now. Look at how El Paso is now.
Yeah.
It's every day, every week. Now there's more females being showed now. And I don't know if
Yeah.
you've noticed that. A lot more females are getting arrested. I mean, I don't know what the heck's going on, but they're putting even their children at risk.
Yeah.
You know, and that's this is serious. Why are the children paying the consequences because of our decisions that we want to drink and drive?
Right.
You know, there's something that needs to be done, and we need to get involved with, like, the other states, what they're doing. They must be doing something right, because they're not having that high price of, you know, repeated or drunk drivers. You know,
Right.
people are very intimidated. They no, I'm not going to drive
Yeah.
because there's a checkpoint over here, and no, I'm not going to take that route.
Right.
I mean, we need something like that. We need people to be really aware about not drinking and driving, not to take, you know, get behind that wheel.
I'm with you. Trust me, I'm with you.
Yeah, it just, something needs to give.
Yeah.
You know, it really does. And like I said, I have another mom. Her name is Veronica. Her son was Casey, and it's like she really puts it out there that don't drink and drive. You know, the BAC, she looks at the laws with Utah, she looks at the laws with New Mexico, and she's like, how is that? And we're talking with our city and state leaders. How is that they're able to, and our city's not able to do that? Our
Right.
state is not able to do that. Why aren't our state and city leaders talking up there in Austin to demand this change and bring back what the laws need to be like the other states? You know, because they're not in that situation the way we are right now. Why are we risking people's lives?
Right. So what do you say to the people that, as it is, you know, El Paso is as small of a city as it is. It's huge. It's a huge city. But people will say, well, maybe that's the drunks or the drunk driving isn't as much priority as everything else that's going on, right? Because you know, manpower or whatnot for us to have the amount of police officers to patrol, instead of, you know, because there's a lot of people. Because I've heard a lot of disagreements where people are like, well, should I care more about somebody who I see swerving, drunk driving, or should I care more about somebody that, you know, there's a domestic violence or something else like that? You know, which one should take precedence over that? And a lot of people will say, well, the drunk something. People will use the analogy, well, I've been able to drink and drive and make it home okay, you know, as opposed to, you know, trying to compare, making, you know, apples to apples or apples to oranges, but, you know, it's completely different. What do you say to the people that say that the drunk driving probably isn't as much of a priority or shouldn't be as much of a priority as everything else?
When you lose a loved one, you make it a priority, and your life changed completely.
Right.
Like I said, so whether it's domestic, gun violence, they're all the same.
Right.
I'm sorry, they're all the same. A life was taken, a life was stolen, and those are choices that people are making, and they should all be treated the same. They shouldn't be treated any different.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's the crime. If you do the crime, pay for the crime.
Right.
Sorry, should go all across, and people don't take that serious, and you need to take it serious until it happens to you, and you lose your loved one.
Agree. Do you agree with that sentiment, Magaly, or what do you?
Yes, but let me go back where Lupe said right
Yeah.
now regarding about the what we should do, like
Yeah.
flag their ID, their license, and you mentioned that most of them people don't have a license, right? And she mentioned something about to renew license. How come when they don't pay child support, they don't get that right to renew the license?
Okay.
Did you know that if you don't pay child support and you're behind child support, they don't let you renew your license?
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
And why is that more important than money than a life? You get me? At this point, I'm trying to make it seem like, okay, you just want the money. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You just want the money. And losing about our kids, what's the difference? What's the difference that they cannot, like Lupe said, about our laws, about our I don't know how to explain that.
Say it in Spanish. Say it in Spanish.
Not even in Spanish.
It's hard, you know.
Yes.
So it's hard to really express until you're in that situation, and it's like we tell everybody, you know, you're not in our shoes, and when we see another family being impacted, it's reminded, you relive how you lost your loved one.
Yeah.
And it's a reminder constantly that these repeated offenders, and that people think that, oh, you know what, I'm going to take a drink right here, but I'll drink some water but I'll keep drinking some beer over here, and I'm okay. I'm okay to drive,
Yep.
but until it happens,
Right.
why should we wait till it happens?
Well, we're already. Do you think as people, as human beings, we're more reactive than proactive? Unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, they're just not proactive. They're not thinking. They're thinking of themselves. They're thinking that they're going to be okay and being behind the wheel.
Yeah.
But we're not okay. It's not okay. They think that, I've drank plenty of times, and I know how to drive when I'm, a little tipsy. I didn't drink too much. It's just a little one or two.
Yeah.
But it happens within minutes, and it can happen to anybody.
Absolutely.
And you can't just think just a little drink, you're not. It's not going to happen. It can happen to you.
Right now, when talking about the different things that we can do, I don't know if this has been brought up to you guys. I just had an idea. I know you were saying earlier about when you flagging IDs. I mean, now I think it's. I'd heard. I think what the even to get board an airplane now, right? We got to show IDs or whatnot.
Yes.
Why can't we? I mean, we have databases of information coming from our phone that we don't even want captured, but it's captured. Why can't we have a database where when you go to a bar, you run here to be able to come in, you swipe their license and make sure they come in, and if they have something like a DWI or something in the past, be like, hey, dude, you know what, man, you're not welcomed, or you know what, we can't serve you.
Agree. I went not too long ago, this was before my son, about 3 years ago. I went to Phoenix. I went to a comic strip, and they have a camera. And I'm trying to figure out how they do it. They have to swipe the driver's license. And I asked them, well, why are you taking a picture? Because we need to make sure, one, if you do have DWIs, we have to report it, And if you are coming into our bar, it needs to be notified to our agency or whoever. They have to report it. And they swipe the driver's license. So it's monitoring and prevention. So
Right.
I thought that was a really good idea. And it would be nice that we could have that in our bars, that they have cameras and they have to swipe to show that that's, them, and as well as to show that they don't have any DWIs, I think it would help a lot in our community in this, because we have too many bars here, Joe. We do. We have too many. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with celebrating. The problem is, don't get behind the wheel.
Yeah.
But these people keep doing it, and they think that this is okay. Like I said, even a breathalyzer would be good in the bar. I'm sorry. It just, something would help a lot to prevent what's happening. And we need some change. We need a change in El Paso.
Right.
And I'm sorry, like I said, something needs to give. Something needs to give.
I mean, I completely agree, like I said, but we have to, I guess we have to find ways to do it appropriately, where, I mean, because I know these bar owners, man.
No, I know. Some of them aren't even insured.
Yeah, see,
And TABC needs to be a lot harder on this.
yeah, because there's a lot of bars, si no hay tranza, no avanza.
No.
And that's what these guys will do. They don't, it's all about that dollar bill at the end of the day. And,
Well, I think it's all for
it's horrible.
Texas. That's what we tell them. It's like, y'all are worried about the revenue.
Yeah,
But you're not worried about people's lives.
absolutely.
I mean, like I said, it's like, we got to do something. We got to, because it keeps happening.
Right.
And lives are being stolen because of choices.
Yeah.
And we need to think of people's lives.
Okay. I completely agree. And speaking about people's lives, if you ladies are okay with it, I want to see, because I know some of you guys still have open cases, and there's so much you could give, information you could give. I don't want to go into specifics. I don't want to get into names of defendants. I don't want to get into all what I would like to do. If you could do a quick, not quick, but just give me like a little brief synopsis of the person that impacted you and brought you to the movement. If we can, we'll start with Celia, so that way I can try my Spanglish here and see. Lo que quiero hacer, Celia, le ando preguntando si nos puede platicar poquito de la persona que usted, que ya no está aquí con usted, su hijo, Se nos puede decir poquito, no todo lo que ha pasado, porque yo sé que unos de ustedes todavía tienen el corte y andan haciendo andan peleando todavía con el sistema o bien haciendo lo que sea. Pero me gustaría, si pudiera hablar por un poquito de la persona que ya no está aquí con usted, que les trajo juntos para hacer este movimiento. Sí, vamos a empezar con usted, si nos puede decir un poquito de su hijo, ¿verdad?
Sí.
¿Y cómo se llama su hijo?
Mi hijo se llamaba Alonso Mario López,
Alonso Mario López. ¿Cuántos años tenía?
31 años.
31 años de joven. Padre.
No, él no estaba casado, él no tenía hijos, él decía que quería ser más responsable para poder tener una familia.
Okay. ¿Y si nos puede explicar un poquito de lo que le gustaría a usted de hablar de su hijo?
Mi hijo era era el más chico, él siempre se preocupaba por su mamá.
Ujú.
Él me gustaba porque él siempre me andaba abrazando. Me acuerdo que yo le decía, mira, me vas a quebrar. Y me decía, no, yo sé cuánta fuerza tengo. Él hacía pesas, él podía levantar como 450 libras.
Ujú.
O sea que yo era una plumita cuando él me cargaba. Eh, Cuando yo me lastimé mi pie, él me llevaba al hospital, él cuidaba de mí.
Ujú.
Entonces eso es lo que yo extraño. Por ejemplo, él también cuando él me ayudaba mucho. Yo tengo muy presente porque él compró unas llantas al carro.
Ujú.
Entonces ya se las acabó. Entonces yo compré otra vez como él las compró. Entonces a mí me impactó mucho. Una de las cosas que más me impactaron fue eso porque todo lo que él hacía, todavía él después de que se me fue, me ha servido.
Ujú.
También me compró una batería a mi carro. Entonces sigo usando la garantía o sea, todavía después de que él se fue, todo lo que él hacía por mí me ha ayudado y es lo que a mí me pone mal porque nadie me cuidaba como él.
Ujú.
Nadie me ayudaba como él. Entonces sí tengo yo dos más hijos, pero mis hijos tienen su vida, tienen
Sí.
sus hijos. Y su mamá no es la prioridad de ellos. Su prioridad son su esposa, sus hijas.
Ujú.
Y para Mario yo era su prioridad porque yo fui su mamá, vivíamos juntos.
Ujú.
Entonces él fue soldado. Yo batallé, yo no quería que él fuera soldado. A mí no. Él batalló mucho para convencerme a mí
Ujú.
de firmar yo para que él se fuera. Que no quería. Entonces cuando él pasaba algo allá, yo trataba siempre llamaba y preguntaba y me hablaba y me decía, mamá, estoy bien, las malas noticias llegan primero. Le digo, no tienes que preguntarle a todo el mundo a ver si ya saben de mí.
Sí.
Le digo, no, es que... Y también cuando él llegaba a mi casa a las 7 de la mañana, entonces yo me levantaba, salía y veía que no estaba su llave, entonces salía y veía si estaba su carro.
Ujú.
Y si no, yo le hablaba y le decía, ¿estás bien? Entonces él me decía, mamá, ya tengo 30 años. Le digo, no tienes que decirme dónde estás, ni qué estás haciendo, ni con quién estás, solamente mándame una carita o dime sí, y yo quiero saber que estás bien.
Sí.
Entonces ya lo hacía. Entonces siempre le hacía de almorzar, almorzábamos juntos. Yo todo eso es lo que yo extraño sus abrazos. Cada noche que se iba él a trabajar me abrazaba tan fuerte que yo los extraño tanto, esos abrazos. Y su voz, su risa. Él era demasiado familiar.
Ujú.
Él hablaba prácticamente mi familia. Él era el tronco donde todos, él le hablaba a todos, platicaba con todos los primos, los hermanos, los tíos. Él era la unión de toda la familia,
Ujú.
a pesar de que era uno de los más chicos. Él se fue y ya yo no sé nada de mis hermanas, nada de mis sobrinos, porque el tronco se fue. Entonces a mí me preguntan, le digo, es que a mí no me, o sea, yo quiero estar con mis hijos, disfrutar a mis otros hijos que me quedan, a mis nietas, y es un día a la vez. Entonces, me puede mucho mi Mario, demasiado, pero tengo que estar fuerte porque yo quiero verlo, porque Dios así me lo prometió, que si yo soy buena gente, yo voy a volver a ver a Mario. Entonces sí, en veces yo me derrumbo y quiero irme con Mario, porque yo lo hice cuando Mario murió en octubre, a los 3 meses, yo me tomé muchas pastillas, pero yo sé que eso no está bien, y yo sé que volví y estoy en terapia, voy a la iglesia, y yo quiero ver a Mario otra vez, y sé que es una promesa que él me dio, y yo quiero verlo otra vez, yo quiero ver a mis hijos otra vez, yo quiero estar juntos otra vez, y yo tengo esa fe, entonces yo tengo que hacer las cosas bien. Me dicen que yo hago esto porque Mario lo mató no, yo siempre he estado en desacuerdo en la gente que toma y maneja, independientemente de que así se me haya ido Mario. Siempre he estado en desacuerdo en esas cosas. Entonces, mi Mario era una persona que creía en las leyes, creía en su gobierno. Siempre teníamos debates por eso. Entonces yo tengo que hacer lo que a él le gustaría, apoyar lo que él hacía, en lo que él creía, porque es lo que yo quiero hacer por él. Entonces, por eso yo me uní a ellas, por eso, para que mi niño se sienta orgulloso de su mamá. Yo sé que él está dormido en algún lugar, pero me gusta pensar, para yo estar mejor, que él me está viendo haciendo todo esto y que se sienta orgulloso de mí, como siempre lo ha estado, porque él siempre me lo decía, me decía, mi mamá, tú estás muy loca. Y a veces que me acuerdo cuando una vez nos pusimos, él llegó del trabajo y vente, porque me gusta oír la música, a mí me gusta la música y me gusta oír la música a todo vuelo. Y estaba una canción, le digo, vente Mario, vamos a bailar. Y luego me meaba en la cabeza, me decía, mamá, tú estás loca. Le digo, ándale, vente, vamos a bailar. Y nos pusimos a bailar y luego él me decía que yo estaba loca, que también en una piñata fui la única la mamá que le dio a la piñata. Me decía mi mamá, tú estás loca, mamá. Le digo, es que hay que vivir la vida, Mario. De buen modo hay que vivir la vida.
Sí.
Hacer las cosas bien y disfrutar, a disfrutarlos. Porque no sé qué pueda pasar mañana.
Sí.
Entonces, nomás me movía en la cabeza y me decía, o me abrazaba tan fuerte que su risa la extraño tanto. Yo tengo videos y los pongo, su risa, y cuando habla, tengo sus 15 minutos antes de que le pasara eso, estaba con la novia y tengo la grabación. Y me gusta ponerla en la televisión de él porque era una sesión muy grande. Entonces me gusta ponerlo ahí, pararlo cuando él está parado y verlo, pensar. Cierro los ojos y pienso que él está aquí, que él está allí, solo, y intento pensar que él me está abrazando. Yo sé que no, pero yo quiero sentir que él me abraza y me dice que todo está bien, que siga adelante y que todo está bien, que él está bien, que él está contento, que no me preocupe ya más por él, pero él es mi hijo y no puedo.
Sí.
Yo tengo que seguir adelante. Muchos me dicen que porque mis hijos, que no, yo tengo que seguir adelante por mí, porque fue una promesa que él me dio y yo tengo que seguir adelante por él, porque yo quiero volverlo a ver y quiero que él se sienta orgulloso de su mamá, de lo que hizo o de lo que intentó hacer, aunque sea en español.
Exacto.
Ay, ay, y el día que pasó el incidente que pasó con Mario, hijo, andaba de fiesta, andaba de ayudando a la gente, me andaba diciendo que porque no tomaba, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Manejaba para los amigos que sí andaban tomados. Él andaban de fiesta, andaban de o nomás andaba de agarrando mandado o qué.
No, él había agarrado 2 turnos, él era guardia de seguridad en el Providencia y había
Okay.
agarrado noche y mañana toda la semana, porque estaba en eso del COVID
Sí.
y había mucho trabajo. Entonces, cuando ya descansó, quedaron en irse a pasear con los amigos.
Sí.
Y él era un grupo de amigos y se fueron
Lo
a
disfrutaba.
divertir.
Ajá.
Entonces ellos se quedaron de ver en la casa de la novia y se juntaron y se esperaron un tiempo más para que se les pasara y ver a quién iban a llevar primero. Y
Okay.
entonces ahí pues el video que yo tengo donde están allí hablando de qué iban a hacer.
¿Viene siendo de esa misma noche?
Sí,
Okay.
15 minutos antes de que lo mataran están ahí poniéndose de acuerdo qué van a hacer. Entonces cuando mi hijo se fue, los llevó a sus casas y cuando ya iba para mi casa, él agarró la Montana y 375
Okay.
y el señor bajó, el soldado bajó a 100 millas por hora y destruyó el carro de Mario. Sí lo intentaron revivir, pero a él se desnucó
Okay.
y pues se quedó sin sangre porque de acá atrás
Sí.
y llegó ya sin vida.
Y para la gente que está escuchando su historia y anda viendo el video, que los padres, los que vienen siendo hijos, todos los que andan viendo el sufrimiento que anda pasando con usted porque no tiene su hijo, ¿qué le gustaría decirle a usted a ellos de la vida que puede cambiar tan rápido por por más andar de, pues, por no decir propia palabra, ¿verdad? Por andar de pendejo por unos 5 minutos, de ponerse pedos y el efecto que tiene en familias como la familia de usted? ¿Qué le gustaría decirle a usted a personas que andan viendo para ayudarles que no toman o para que no manejen tomados o qué gustaría decirle a usted al mundo?
Que sean conscientes porque yo soy consciente, yo no le puedo echar la culpa a mi papá ni a mi mamá de cosas que yo haga mal. Yo tienen que ser conscientes de lo que hacen, porque tenemos suficiente edad para entender las cosas. Los que no entienden son los niños de 9, 10 años y que yo sepa ellos no andan tomando y manejando.
Sí.
Entonces tenemos que ser conscientes de lo que hacemos. No podemos no solamente la policía o las leyes son los que tienen que hacer las cosas. Somos nosotros, porque somos los que nosotros tenemos que cuidarnos.
Sí.
Los que tenemos que hacer las cosas bien, no tomar y manejar. Hay muchas cosas, hablarle a un Uber, a un familiar, muchas cosas que podemos hacer y no tenemos que manejar y tomar. O sea, tenemos que ser conscientes, muy conscientes de las cosas. Porque no nada más los policías, ni nada más las leyes, no. Somos nosotros. Nosotros somos los que tenemos, y sobre todo los papás que no tenemos que solapar las barbaridades de los hijos. Tampoco. Porque eso es seguir haciendo hijos malos. Aunque ya en mi casa el papá de mis hijos tomaba, pero Jesús, mi hijo, no toma. Él no toma, él no maneja y toma. O sea, el ejemplo de los papás tampoco sí ayuda, pero no es todo tampoco. Nosotros tenemos que ser conscientes y responsables. Así,
Es todo.
sí.
Just a quick recap of what you said for those of us that are non-speaking Spanish. Her son, 31 years old, Mario Alonso. Mario Alonso was taken way too young. One of the things that she deeply misses is since he was into heavy weightlifting, he would hold her like a feather and give her these. She was always scared that she would tell them that she would break her when she would hug her. She constantly sees a video 15 minutes before the incident happened that her son was taken from her. She sees that on repeat at home on the big screen TV so she could see her son one more time. And he was taken out by a soldier who was, he himself was a soldier too, believed in family, law, government. And another soldier took him out at 100 miles per hour. And it's something that she wishes that we as people need to take conscience with what we're doing with our own actions. We can't blame anybody else but ourselves. And that is something that I definitely resonates, because we see people that set examples for us, but we have to take whatever example, either good or bad, from that and turn that to something positive for ourselves. And I hope some of these stories will help some of you guys realize the real effects of what's going on here. Because this, even though, like Lupe had said, people are not saying don't go out and party. People aren't saying don't celebrate, don't drink. What they are saying is be responsible for when you do this. Have a freaking plan. Have an Uber. It's a lot cheaper to have an Uber than to go out and cause somebody the grief and the pain that you're seeing from families day in and day out, just because you thought, well, I don't want to spend $20 on a drive home. I'm good enough to do it. Personally, I'd rather spend the $30 or whatever it is than any kind of pain, whether physical, spiritual, that I could cause not only myself but other people. And that's something that we as people need to realize. And Magaly, I know you said your daughter was 17.
Yes.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about her?
Yes. My daughter, Anahi, Karla, Leaños, she was 17 years old, a day before her 18th birthday. Just the day before. We were planning a big party for her, a big celebration that weekend on Saturday. And my oldest daughter, her birthday was 2 days before.
Okay.
And we were planning to do a big party for both of them at home, with the family, their friends, a gather. And this happened in 2024. You would ask me a year before to do these interviews or to do this podcast or anything, I would have said no, because the first year is the worst. It's the worst that you can imagine. You're still thinking that it's a nightmare. You're still thinking you're going to wake up. You're still thinking that they're going to walk through the door and say, I was in a trip, I was in school, I was at work.
Yeah.
And it doesn't hit you after, well, to me especially, hit me after a year really hard that she was gone. That she was gone. That morning when they knocked on my door and they told me what happened, I was thinking it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare, right? And like I said, like if you would have asked me a year before anything of this, I would be saying no to anything because I was in disbelief.
Right.
But talk to these moms, talk to everybody, to my friends, family, and I tell them, you know what? I don't want my daughters to be another case number. I don't want my daughter just to be a file and say, oh, we're going to trial or we did settlement, anything. I want them to remember that she was a person. She was here. She left a legacy. And like I said, on that weekend when she passed, on Saturday, we were planning a big, big party. And you can imagine we were doing funeral arrangements, okay, instead of her party. And she was going to graduate that year. She was going to early college. She wanted to be a lawyer. And I would always tell her, Mija, you're going to be a good lawyer. because she was a very, very good debate person. Oh my God. Ya nomás, she would start with that little phrase. First of all, oh my God, we would be like, there we go, Anahi. And she's like, Mom, it's because you're not right. You see, and then she will start like this and that. And then I Google it, and then this is fact. And oh my gosh, she was very, a really pretty, awesome girl, my baby. And all these dreams were shadowed that day, that night. And we were left like empty, you know.
Right.
I have my oldest daughter, my son. She was my baby, like I said. Her dog was everything for her. She has a little white, those crusty white Mexican dogs.
El solo vino.
Yes, and I will always, it will be a problem between me and her because I'm not an animal person, right?
Okay.
And she will be like, that's my baby, and blah, blah, blah. And I always tell her, Mija, you love more that dog than me. And she's like, no, Mom, and I love you, both of you. Here's your grandson. I'm like, oh, no, girl. Oh, no.
Grandson.
Yeah, she will be always joking like that. Todos sus friends, every time when I would meet with her friends, they will always tell me, no, dice Anahi, she was something else. We miss her so much. Sometimes I still see their friends at that cemetery, and they will come up to me and they will be like, I'm so sorry, we miss her so much. She was like very happy, outgoing person.
Yeah.
And every time we would have like gatherings at home, little parties and stuff like that, she was like, we miss everything about her.
Yeah.
Everything about her. She was my baby.
Right.
Well, she was my baby. She was everything to us.
When was it? Before that, you said it was the day before her 18th birthday, right?
Yes.
Would I don't know, because I can't remember if you still had your court case or not, so I don't want to get into that. But what was the? Do you have also a last memory of her, like Celia had about the video, like 10 minutes or whatever, 15 minutes before the incident?
Yes. It was also like 10, 15 minutes before. It was that Thursday night. It was about, I'll say about 10:30, 11 at night. And we were talking, and she was describing to her sister the way she wanted her birthday cake.
Okay.
So they were ordering through a lady on Facebook, so she was sending the details. And
Yeah.
one thing I remember really clear, and she told her sister, I wanted a round cake, black, with a lot of sparkle. Sparkly, you know, those sprinkles or whatever they call it. And she wanted to be like shiny, bright.
Okay.
So we were sitting in the couch in the living room, and we were talking about her party. About her party. And it was also like Celia, like 10, 15 minutes before. And I told them that night, Mija, you're already going to be 18. How does it feel to be 18? Now you're on your own. Now you're your own. And she's like, hi, Mom. And I'm like, he said, no, I'm still your baby, remember? And then I was like, okay. Pero yeah, we were planning, they were setting everything for her cake for Saturday. And I told her, okay, let's go to sleep because you got to go to school.
Yeah.
I got to go to work and this and that.
Right.
That was the last time I spoke to her. After that night, it was like 11, like I said, 10:30, 11. I don't remember exactly. And at 2:30 in the morning, they told me that she had an accident. Yes. Those were the last time. The last time we all three together in the living room.
Does speaking about her and her story, does it help in any which way to, I guess, not cover the void, but help to kind of fill that void where you're speaking about her in the beautiful light that she was as a person?
You know what? Sometimes I will be in the house sitting alone, and I would just think about everything. And I know she will be like, Mom, you need to be strong.
Yeah.
Mom, you still have my other daughter, my son, my husband, my mom. Now I have two beautiful granddaughters. And I think those two little angels are the one that they help me with everything right now.
Yeah. Do you guys think you guys can ever fully be healed?
No. No, because there's always in a party and a celebration and a holiday, you're always going to have that empty
Yeah.
chair. You will always be thinking about that person, what she would be doing right now,
Right.
what she would be look like, what's her path in life, what would she be studying, or what,
Right.
or I know she wanted to be a lawyer, but sometimes kids they change their mind,
Oh, yeah.
like at all teenagers,
Yeah.
but there's always that. You always think about it, what they would be doing,
Yeah.
always.
So I know Celia said that, with the church that's helped her. What's helping you besides the two little angels that you have or your grandkids?
You know what? This group meeting with Lupe when Diana contacted me, she had lost her son, I think a year prior
Right.
to losing Anahi. And you know what? At that time, you're always thinking, why happened to me? You think that it only had happened to you until
Right.
you unfortunately open your eyes and you realize there's a lot of other mothers outside that they're also going through the same thing as you
Right.
are. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a church person.
Right.
I'm Catholic, but I'm still like, I'm not 100% there every Sunday at church. But I try to talk through God, through my daughter. I always talk to her every night, every time I go to the cemetery. And it's hard. It's hard because when I met Lupe and Diana, and it helped me a lot.
Yeah.
It helped me a lot with them.
Well, I'm glad that there's some kind of, not solace, but there's something that's kind of helping you get through it. And believe me, I'm not trying. I don't want to raise. If you guys don't feel comfortable talking about it, I probably should have said that earlier, right? I don't want to raise bad feelings or bring up bad memories, but I know from my past, I get like comfort from speaking sometimes about certain things, and I wanted people to understand, because it's one thing to say, oh, somebody's lost or somebody got hurt in an accident or somebody passed of this or passed of that, but nobody understands the full ramifications until you see the damage that it did to people outside of that one person. And I want people to see how important it is to stop this madness that we're doing and drinking and driving, because this is the hurt that you're bringing on to people. And I hope, and I'm not trying to do it, like I said, I don't want to bring up bad feelings, but I want people to see the true consequences of this. And I appreciate you ladies doing that. Gaby, you said it was your son that passed, correct? Would you like to talk a little bit about your?
I'm sorry, can I
Yeah,
say
yeah,
something?
yeah, by all
No,
means.
okay. The only thing that when Lupe said about it, about our kids, that there's always going to be that emptiness, right?
Right.
And people always say that it's, how do we do it?
Yeah.
I always get that question. I don't know about you guys ladies. They always
Yes.
tell me, how do you do it? How do you survive? I survive by having my other two kids. Like I said, my two granddaughters. And when I go to work, you put on a mask.
Right.
You put a mask on. And you're like, I'm at work. I'm going to do my job. I'm going to customer service. That's what I do. And once I get out, I clock out. I'm a completely different person.
Right.
Okay, because everything comes back, reality hits you back, and it's something that it's every single day.
Right.
Every single day, since I wake up in the morning till I go to sleep at night, and it's the part of us, and not only me, and I see it on my son, I see it on my husband, and like I said, if you would tell me a year before, I wouldn't have the courage or the ganas, like they say it, or to do it, because I was still, and I'm still to her, but now I want to be her voice. If I could save and change somebody else's mind and save a family for going through what we're going through,
Right.
and because I couldn't save my daughter at that time, that would be awesome if we could save somebody else going through what we're going through.
Right.
Because It's a pain that is constantly sticking, like they say. It's a knife, a plastic knife that is cutting and cutting every single day. But if I can help somebody else to stop going through that, and somebody listen to us and take that advice and say, I'm not going to do it because I want to live for my family or not kill somebody, that will be awesome. That will be awesome for us.
And I appreciate you taking, like I said, it takes a lot of courage, as you said, to come out and do what you guys are doing, because somebody could easily just get in the shelter and poor me, poor me, poor me. But what you ladies are doing and trying to make a movement and try to save somebody that pain, that was one of the main reasons I wanted to bring you ladies on here. Because again, like I said, anything that could help to avoid somebody to feel that pain, like you said, anything we can do to help you is what we're after. And I know people will always like, oh, I know what you're going through, or I feel sorry. Nobody ever knows. And I know sometimes we as humans, we want to give out those, we want to be that comforting person, but I mean, sometimes it's just, you just got to let it run its course, right?
Yes.
And I'm hoping the emotion and stories that you guys are saying, that your kids aren't going to didn't have to go through this pain in vain. And this helps somebody, like you said.
Yes.
And I thank you. I thank you so much for that. Gabby, I know you said your son was pushing. I'm gonna move the camera here because we can get a good picture of you. Your son was edging you to come into the States, and you've been here now 2 years. And what would you like to say about your son?
My son, Eduardo Adrian Muñoz, he was 32 years old. He passed away on last October 2025. He was on his bike, on his motorcycle over at Northeast. And it was very late. It was like 3 in the morning, 3:13, I think, 3:15 in the morning. And that day, we were supposed to go to church. He was going with me to church. And he didn't go to church. He decided not to go that day because he was fixing his car. That's why he was on his motorcycle. His car was broke. And he told me, I'm not going to ir a la iglesia, man, because I got to take this and whatever.
Yeah.
And I didn't do nothing. I didn't say, no. Because he was 32 years old, but he still listened to me.
Right.
Si yo le hubiera dicho, you need to come. Si yo hubiera hecho tantas cosas, pues él no existe ya. La culpa es algo que nos invade siempre. Siempre tenemos culpa porque pensamos que hubiera hecho esto. I would have done that. Should have done that. I should have said that. But nothing works now, And that day I spoke with him like about it around 10 in the night. I was coming from Juarez because I go to church over there, and I was coming from Juarez, and I called him to see where he was, and he said, don't call me, Mom, because I'm going to be busy. So I got to the house like around 11, and I didn't call him. And I was talking with Celia these days before, and I don't know what happens, but they like little small things that I think they get like prepared. Everybody that's gonna die. Little things. His room was a mess all the time. He was messy. And when that day when we got home, me and my smallest kid, and his clothes was all estaba toda guardada, toda la ropa estaba acomodada, y Edgar mi hijo dijo, ma, el gordo guardó su ropa, ya se irá, dijo mi hijo, ¿sabes? So I went to sleep. I didn't call him because he said, don't call me, I'm gonna be busy.
Yeah.
And I didn't call him until 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, that his friend called me and told me that he has passed away. I went to the accident where he was, and they didn't let me see him because I wanted to pray for him, you know. And they didn't let me see him, and I have tengo como spaces where I don't remember what happened right there.
Okay.
Pero lo que me dicen es que yo empecé a correr. Y los policías me pusieron las esposas y me metieron al carro, a la policía, so like if I was arrested.
Right.
You know, and everything I wanted to do was see him. That's all. Y no me dejaron verlo. Yo siempre digo, esa persona mató, no nomás mató a mi hijo. Esa persona me mató a mí también, pero a mí no me enterraron. A nosotros no nos enterraron, a nosotros nos dejaron aquí. Adrian también era mi guía aquí. Yo no sabía ni andar aquí. Él era mi guía, era, ma, no le hagas así, ma, no compres esas llantas, ma, vete para allá, ma, la pila esto, ma, el carro. Y se me fue. Yo quise venir a este lugar para vivir mejor y ahora vivo peor. Está peor porque esto es una lucha constante y estar a donde quiera que yo voy, lo que sea que yo hago, ahí está él. Lo que sea, si voy a una tienda, ahí está él. Voy a comprar tenis, ahí está él. Le gustaba mucho salir a cenar al hijo para la 1 de la mañana y vamos a comer, mamá. Yo no como, hijo, eso es demasiada comida. No, tú pide. Tú me das de tu plato, no, tú pide el tuyo. He used to say, so he finished eating my plate and his plate, you know. Pero ya no tengo con quién ir, nadie quiere ir al hijo para la 1 de la mañana. Él era mi hijo mayor. Tengo más hijos y son los que me tienen aquí. También, al igual que Celia, quiero pensar que él me ve. Que él me ve y que está viendo y que se está riendo de lo que estoy haciendo porque él sabe que no me iba a quedar callada. Y yo sí anoche les decía a las muchachas, se tardaron mucho para hablarme, ¿no? Se tardaron porque yo decía, ¿qué hago? ¿A dónde voy? ¿Con quién voy? Nadie me va a oír. Y hasta que me contactaron y inmediatamente dije que sí, porque yo sabía que yo quiero pensar que Adrian me ve, que Adrian me escucha y que está orgulloso de mí. Yo quiero pensar eso. Y tuve la oportunidad de pedirle perdón en algunos anterior a esto. Si fui mala mamá, si falté a lo que él necesitó, tuve la oportunidad, gracias a Dios, de decirle, hijo, perdóname. Y siempre me dijo, ma, tú no hiciste nada, ma. Tú no hiciste nada, no pasa nada, todo está bien. Y a veces digo, qué bueno que le dije, qué bueno, porque si hubiera ido y yo me hubiera quedado más con el remordimiento de que algo no le gustó, algo le hice, en algo lo herí, y no. Pero aquí estamos, aquí seguimos, no tenemos opción. A nosotros nadie nos dijo, puedes escoger esto o puedes escoger aquello. Como ellos, no. A nosotros se nos dictó sentencia de muerte ahí junto con ellos. No hay más. No hay más que seguir adelante y seguir honrándolos. Seguir pensando, escuchando los videos. Yo escucho los los audios. Mi hijo trabajaba siempre estaba trabajando. Y él era bartender.
Okay.
Y siempre, pues, no podía escribir y me mandaba audios. Mamá, te voy a llevar agua de melón, mamá, esto, mamá. Y repito, y repito, y repito. Y repito los audios para que su voz nunca se me vaya a olvidar. A veces digo, porque se me olvidan las cosas, y a veces digo, nunca se me vaya a olvidar
Su voz,
su voz. Nunca.
su risa.
Es muy difícil esto. Mucho, mucho, muy difícil
Mhm.
vivir sin él.
What is it that if you see if you hear other people that are having the same, that are going through the same thing that you are, what is it is there one thing that you can advise or one thing that you could give them to help them kind of not heal, but I guess move forward? What advice would you give that person, or what would you be able to tell another parent that's going through the same thing that you're going through right now?
I'm sorry, but I am a woman of faith.
Mm-hmm.
And in my case, there's nothing, absolutely nothing else but God.
Okay.
Letting him know that I am hurt, that my heart is hurt, that I miss my son.
Mm-hmm.
Asking God to hug my son. And holding his hand is the only thing that has got me through this. And es lo único que me mantiene caminando, que me mantiene despierta.
Mm-hmm.
No hay otra cosa. El grupo me ha ayudado mucho, mucho en mantenerme, my mind,
Mm-hmm.
busy and thinking about that I can do something for him. But I don't want nobody to go through this.
Right.
Nobody deserves this. Nobody deserves to see their children died because of somebody's irresponsibility, you know. Si dijéramos es que se murió porque he was in drugs, he himself was drunk and he died.
Mm-hmm.
Pero yo no sé por qué. I think it's because they drink and they are like como liga.
Mm.
Nothing happens to them. Their muscles are relaxed, so
Right.
nothing happens to whoever is drunk.
Right.
Now, what I have to deal with also is that what they told me is that, or not that they have told me that what I've heard is that they're gonna see the alcohol on my son,
Mm-hmm.
not on the. Well, they know the
The other driver.
the other driver,
Right.
but now they're gonna. I mean,
Try to
they're
shift blame.
Yes. And there is a video of my son also from the last minutes because they were running. They were on their motorcycles,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a video de su casco.
Okay.
Pero el video termina donde llegaron a la casa del amigo. He turned it off. And then the accident was just around. They were just getting the John F. Kennedy.
Okay.
De la casa del amigo through on the light.
Mm-hmm.
They were just turned the light, so they were running on 20 miles per hour. And this guy just ran the light and crashed them on the back. 2 motorcycles. My son.
Your son and his friend?
Yes, but his friend just broke his hand.
Wow.
So now they're gonna see the limit. I don't know. This is very, very, very unfair.
Yeah.
It is unfair.
No, I mean, it's like you said, it's horrible because now they're trying to make the victim the one that's the reason that it happened, when
Yes.
in fact it's like you said, it's completely unfair for the loss of a life for what they're trying to do.
You know, now the victim is
The perpetrator.
the perpetrator. Now he's the victim. You know,
Yeah.
they are looking for his rights.
Right.
Nobody's looking for my son's rights. Nobody. They are looking for his rights.
That's rough. Because there's so many different ways to look at it, right? As a parent. But I mean, what's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong. At the end of the day, if for all intents and purposes, if you messed up, I mean, to play the victim after that is kind of hard to fathom that. You know what I mean? It's at the same time, as a parent, you know, you always want to think, oh, not my baby. Until, like you guys keep saying, you know, throughout this whole conversation, until it happens on the other side, that's when it truly hits home. And he was 32, you said?
32 years old. He was born here in El Paso. He came over here to El Paso and made it by himself since he was 18. He was doing a great job. He had his things, his house. I had to stay there. I'm with all his things. Everything I have is his. Everything. I still have his clothes. I still have everything. I have to live there.
Right.
You know, and he did it by himself all the time. That's why I was, por eso la culpa, you know, because I was like, he was a very small child. Y se vino para acá solo.
Yeah.
He made it.
And do you think is there anything anybody could ever say? And I don't want to, it sounds ugly to say, to like get over it, because it's not the right word, right? Like you want to, you know, when you say, what was it? Move on. Yeah. Is there anything that could be said or help you besides faith and besides, you know, the movement that you guys are doing, and your, you know, the helping of somebody not ever going through this feeling again, hopefully? Is there anything anybody can say to you to help you to move on?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so. There's nothing. Things help a little bit,
Right.
but I don't think so. There could be a word that could help us, like, to move on. I don't think so. Actually, a lot of people say things that you're like, what?
Make it worse.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying not to do right now.
See,
That's what I'm trying not to do right now.
see, you know, like, déjalo descansar.
Yeah.
I'm like, o sea, pequeñas cosas que I don't think they do it with
Malintentions. Yes.
but they don't help.
No.
They don't help. I don't think there is anything that somebody could say. Probably, whenever they change the law and say this law is going to change, probably it's going to be something that it's going to help us.
A little bit more comforting.
Yes.
Right. Well, I appreciate you. Like I said, I appreciate you all presenting me with your guys' stories. Sometimes, like I said, I take solace in when just saying that person's name. Sometimes it helps out a lot.
Yes.
Yes.
So before we finish, because we're gonna get to Lupe. Before we finish, I want to make sure that we say the children's name at the end, because I don't want those names to ever be forgotten. Because that's something that I think is definitely important to the story, especially for the movement that you guys have. Now, Lupe, you're the founder of the movement, of the street movement that we have, the sober street movement. I know we had said earlier, you had talked to us about how your son was it the exact poster child, I believe you said it was, he had, as all of us do, we have our faults. But you were the one that put your foot down, and you believed, you know, not an eye for an eye, but you believe you broke the law. You paid the price.
Yes.
Talk to us a little bit about your son that started this movement.
Stephen was, he had a big heart. He would give his last dollar to even the homeless person. Steven just was the life. He would always, the joker, always making somebody laugh, always making somebody smile. When somebody was really down, he was like, hey, man, you know, gotta prosper, man. Life's beautiful. Life is short. And we gotta keep going, man. We gotta keep going and smile because life is beautiful. On May 21st, when I got the call at 2:55 in the morning that Steven was in a car accident, I ran over there. I mean, I don't even remember putting any clothes on. Honestly, I just put what I had on. I just grabbed and got over there. And I got my husband and said, let's go. Steven's on a car accident. We're up and down. The roads were blocked. And I was pleading with the officer. I was telling him, please, my son's down there. Please let me see what's going on. Ma'am, we can't let you go. We can't right now. Please park over there. I sat there for 3.5 hours till somebody told me I could something. Then they told us, go to the other side where Starbucks and McDonald's is at. I remember the sergeant coming up to me, telling me, your son's gone. And I said, what? What do you mean my son's gone? They said, he's gone, ma'am. I'm like, we can't, there's nothing we can do. And I said, no, let me go to him. I begged them and they pulled me back. And they said, no, we can't let you go see him. You don't want to remember your son this way. Please don't go over there. All I wanted to do was hold my son. That was my flesh. That was part of my soul. And I begged them. And I told God, and I got on my knees that day, take me, not my son. Take me. And I was told that you can't see him. You can't see him. You'll be able to see him in the morgue. I had to wait 3 days. I still couldn't see him at the morgue. They said I had to wait till they go to the funeral. All I wanted to hold was my son. And I couldn't. They told me I had to wait till they prepared him because I didn't want to be reminded what he looked like because he was pretty bad. I wanted to die with my son. I wanted God to take me. But I know God had a purpose for me. And people that don't believe in God, I'm sorry, he had a purpose. And I really feel God touched me and told me, you gotta be a voice. And you're not ready to go yet. You gotta be a voice for families. You gotta speak for every family that's been impacted. You gotta see and do some change because too many families are gonna be impacted. I don't know, I feel God really touched me in a way that I can't describe. Yeah. And I know some people, I didn't ask my psychiatrist because I had to get psychologist. I thought I was losing it. And I said, am I going crazy? Am I really? And he told me, no, you're not. You're doing something powerful. Not just in memory of your son. You and those moms that are out there are doing something powerful. And you're touching people to not drink and drive and trying to make a change because too many families are being impacted.
Right.
And Steven, like I said, he had his ways that he touched people. And one of those days that when we were there to release the balloons, he always told me, Mom, I have all these friends. You don't understand. They're my friends. They're my friends, Mom. You know, I know they get in trouble, Mom. They do this, they do that, but they're good people, Mom. And I would always tell him, no, they're not, Steven. You know, no, they're not. They're not your friends, you know. And when I went to the balloon release, I fell on the floor. People were thanking me. What kind of power. The son I had, the son I carried, he was so generous. He was so loving, so caring. They told me I was raped one day, ma'am, and I wanted my life to end. And they were telling me, and they said, but your son saved my life from doing that. he told them that how life was beautiful and how life was precious. And then another person came, man, your son stopped me from doing something stupid. You know, and it's like he's always talking to us. And somehow I know he touched people to change.
Right.
So when I did this move and I said, I gotta do something. That was my son. So if he did that and he touched that many people, then I said, I need to do something. And then when I talked to all these moms, I said, you won't be judged.
Right.
You will be loved with open arms, and your child will not be forgotten.
Right.
They're not going to be another case number. They're going to be remembered who they are. And that's my promise that I kept. I go, we won't get justice because they're gone. We can't bring them back.
Right.
Nothing will bring justice to us. But they won't forget who they are. And that's what the mission was, that we started this, and then it went to wanting to change our laws because it kept happening over and over, Joe.
Yeah.
And you're seeing younger people being impacted, you know, and it just like we said, no, we can't let this keep happening.
Right.
And we stood there in front of the courthouse protesting after protest. I mean, we've been doing this since 2023 and then 2024, then 2025, and then now 2026. I mean, we're still out there.
Right.
It's been going on for quite some time, and it's just like it's gone worse. And you're seeing it more and more.
Yep. Absolutely.
And like I said, when I saw my son, I said, one thing I remember about Steven, his smile. He had the biggest, it was contagious. He had the biggest smile, and he just like always cracking a joke. You know, he always would come up with the, you know, Mom, you know, you gotta look at, I got girls looking at me, Mama. He would always tell me that, Mama, the ladies love me, Mama. And I'm like, and they call me Mama Suave, by the way.
Mama Suave, okay.
Because that was his stage name. It was Stevie Suave. He was a rapper for El Paso.
Okay.
And they would tell me that, Mama Suave, Mama Suave. And then I'm like, where did this name come from? And they're like, no, it's just seeing you and what you're doing. That was Steven. That was Steven. Steven cared. He loved, and he would do anything. He, like I said, hand his last dollar to the homeless, you know? He loved El Paso. And even though he was my little travesito, don't get me wrong, he had his little, but Mama, he knew the Mama he had. Mama didn't, Mama said, no is no. Right. You know? You pay for the consequences. You make those choices. You're going to pay the price, and the law's the law.
Right.
And he understood that. And that's why he told me, he goes, Mom, God, he goes, you're always right. Why didn't I listen? I could hear him tell, why didn't I listen? But one thing, you made a comment that you said, Joe, that do you think that they realized that this was their destiny? He told me one thing. I asked him, when you're out there in the night, Steven, aren't you scared that something might happen? He said to me, Mom, my biggest fear, Mom, is dying in a car accident.
Damn.
So like he knew, Joe.
Yeah.
That was his time. It was coming. And when I got that call, you'll never forget it, Joe. That's all I gotta say. You don't forget that. That's why we don't live normal.
Right.
We don't. As families, we learn to survive. That's all we do. We learn to survive every day. We learn to try to get up again and put, like Magaly said, you put a mask on when you're at work.
Right.
You try to work and distract your mind, but those triggers come, and sometimes they come hard.
Right.
And you learn to survive again. And that's why we're doing what we're doing, because we don't want other families going through what we do. We don't want them to endure the pain that we live with every day. Waking up, our babies aren't walking in the door. We're not celebrating their birthdays no more. We're not celebrating Christmas no more. We're not celebrating nothing with them anymore. They're gone. And everybody tells us, like you said, move on. You know, remember Steven, you know, he's with God. God's holding him. And we know that, but it was our child. We gave birth to them.
Right.
And don't think I don't question Mary too. I said, Mary, how did you hold Jesus? How did you do it? Because I ask that every day. How do you do it? Because I'm learning how to do it. I'm learning to survive every day. And me doing this, does it give me a little encouragement to keep going? Yes, it does, because I don't want them to go through what I'm dealing with every day. Every day.
I mean, like I said, there's certain situations where, you know, I wish I could say the right words to you guys to help you guys feel complete and normal, but unfortunately, what is normal now? There is no normal when you're missing a piece. And I wish I could take that pain from you guys. And part of this podcast was for that reason, because I think what you ladies are doing is, for excuse my French, it's fucking phenomenal.
Thank you.
That you guys are taking on people and you guys are trying to remember one thing. Like I said, your kids, the names should not be forgotten.
Amen.
And if this could help in any which way, shape, or form, we need to make a change, because, you know, as much as we say we love our kids are the future. It's time to step up and prove it. It's time for us to step up and do something and change these fucking laws that are putting are allowing our kids, putting them in harm's way when we should be protecting them at all costs, regardless of revenue, regardless of whatever. It's more what's right instead of being wrong. They did it with the drugs back in the days with weed and cocaine. All that shit was legal at one time. You have to remember, there was a prohibition at the time because of these exact things. But once money starts getting involved, that's where it starts getting hasty. But we got to remember, at the end of the day, what you guys have heard this whole last 2 hours, this is the ramifications of a stupid decision that you make. And this is what I wanted to come across and bring it to the attention of people, because it's one thing when you see on Fit Fam, as we keep on saying, and you say, there's another accident, or, oh, now what is there? Or, you know, oh, did you hear somebody got hurt doing this or that? But nobody ever sees the aftermath of that.
No.
And that's the worst part, because after we who click, after those 5 seconds, people forget and move on. But as parents, as family members, there's no forgetting. Sometimes there's no moving on.
And also, the other thing too is that, you know, the accident, this is not the first event. It wasn't the second, it was the third.
For the driver?
Third. And and he was the passenger, and he got the full impact, and while on probation. How do you explain that to us? That's why I'm saying that our system is failing us.
Yeah.
They think they're above the law, and that's why we're demanding change. Not just because of Steven, not just because of what's happening to every family gets in this situation.
Right.
Like I said, the Andrade family, he was only 56 years old. You know, the girl was at a bar, 19 years old. I mean, how is that right? You know, why is it that she got behind the wheel and not thinking twice, and now they don't have a father?
Right.
You know, they don't have their loved one anymore. Sophia, 15 years old. 15. And everybody was making fun of, well, was she wearing a seatbelt? Trying to blame the mom. No, It doesn't matter. We shouldn't be drinking and driving.
Right.
That's the thing. It's don't drink and drive.
It's the simplest thing, right?
Yeah, it's that simple. And no family would have to be going through this.
Right.
None. You can have a good time or stay where you're at. Sober up till the next day. I'm sorry, just stay in your car and stay there.
Yeah.
Don't drive. It's plain and simple. If you don't want to spend on an Uber, stay where you're at. But these people think that they're above the law. And that's another thing is that, you know, we see also that there's getting, they're needing help. The courts are giving them like a recovery, and that it's helping our state. it's not helping because it keeps happening.
Right. They
How
keep
is-
reoffending.
They keep reoffending, they keep going back, and they keep doing it over. So how is it really helping the recovery programs that they created in the courts?
And you know what? Isn't it funny that on FitFam, every Friday they put the mugshots, and it's funny. A lot of people say when it said second, third, fourth offense, and they're like, "Oh, there he goes again." Oh, lad. I'm like, they see it like it's just a joke.
Oh, I
But they
know a
don't-
few of those people
Yes,
that
and
have
you don't.
multiple.
And it's sad. It's sad
Yeah.
because people they're just thinking that it's funny about it, but they don't see us. They don't
Yeah.
see what happened.
The
after.
aftermath.
The aftermath.
Yes.
Exactly. That's exactly what I wanted people to see, because the aftermath, the people that are hurt, you don't deserve, or I don't want to say deserve, but you guys should be shined light upon, because until you see this, until you see something that hits home, that's when change, that's when movement happens. I know we have a petition that's on the
Yes.
screen and whatnot. Can you tell me a little bit about that petition?
Sure, we're doing a petition and we're asking for the city of El Paso to stand with us. We're wanting our laws to change, and we want really more of the checkpoints. I mean, I know people are refusing, but liberal rights. I mean, our children didn't have their rights,
Yeah.
so we're gonna be pushing for that. That's one thing we really want back. Like I said, the BAC, we want it also lowered down. That we want it lowered down. We're wanting almost similarities what Utah and Arizona's doing, trying to get stricter laws, more harsher consequences on these offenders, not just a slap on the wrist, not a $100 fine. The fines need to go up a lot higher.
Yeah.
We want the IDs to be flagged. We're wanting our city of El Paso to stand with us and demand this change and sign our petition, join our petition. If there is somebody there that knows, that's a lawyer that we're looking for, we hope that they would do and join with us to go up to our legislature and address this problem if our state and city leaders do not change these laws. I mean, we keep hearing enough is enough from our mayor. We keep hearing from our chief of police that they're doing everything in their power, but it's not enough because they keep getting away, and that one is slipping away.
Yeah.
And that's how we're asking and reaching out to our city. Help us demand this change.
So the people for the petition, where can we find more information about the movement?
Sure. You can go to Instagram, Facebook. We have it there. We have it saved up there. There's a change.org that you can go on there. There's a QR code you can scan and you can get all the information. There is a fee that apparently that asks for a small little donation. Please, you can ignore that small little fee. You don't need to go through putting $1 or anything. You can skip that and then go ahead and sign the petition online.
Okay.
And it's on change.org.
Is there a certain number of signatures that you guys need for this petition to?
Right now we have 2,000 signatures. And the crazy part, Joe, that one of our moms brought up, which was Veronica, she made a valid point. She said, there are so many people viewing it. We have over 10,000 or 18,000 viewing it, but we don't have people signing it. We only have right now, we have 2,000 signatures. We want to get more than 2,000. I mean, we want to get where everybody's viewing it, but make the change. We got to make the change, because don't wait till it happens to you. That's what we're trying to do. We don't want it to happen to you, but change needs to happen.
Absolutely. I completely agree. And like I said, I'm trying to see, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
That's okay.
I was looking, but I just got heard the doorbell. I'm trying to see who because I know sometimes there's like little monitors that go around through here. So I don't know. I gotta make sure, because they're doing. Just want to make sure that nothing's happening with your guys' vehicles outside. That's all. That's all I'll do. I just want to make sure.
Please
But,
do.
because sometimes those Karens out there.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just trying to making sure you guys are good to go. I had to try to say, why are they bothering me? But yeah, like I said, ladies, I appreciate it. We're going on almost 2 hours already.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I appreciate you guys coming out and just spreading the word of this, because I really hope, because I know you guys have been on the radio lately, on the, I don't want to say the TV as well.
Right. We've been on the news. We've been on Telemundo. As a matter of fact, there was a documentary on Univision.
Univision.
And then Telemundo, and then now K-Fox did a documentary on us. But we're not here about politics. We're not here to get most popularity. That's not what our mission is, to make change in our laws. Our mission is for our loved ones not to be forgotten, and that we're going to be their voice for change, and for no other family to go through what we are living through.
Absolutely.
That's what we're trying to do. And we need to come together as our community of El Paso. Please do not drink and drive. Get a safe ride home, plan ahead. You don't want to be in our shoes. Please.
Yeah. No, I agree. And for those of you who are listening, make sure you guys go on the Instagram page on the
Sober
Street Movement. Get on there, sign this petition, help this. As parents, as brothers, sisters, sons, even, we are tasked with the fact that we need to protect ourselves and our people around us, and hopefully this will be the start of that. Make sure you guys go on there, sign the petition. Don't try to be the reason of resolution.
Amen.
Be proactive, not reactive, because there's enough hurt in this world right now going on. This is something that we could avoid. Try to help us and help other families to not feel this pain, this void constantly, and help us sign that petition, get that going out there. One last time, can you say the name of the children for the mothers that are here today?
Stephen Anthony Hernandez, Isaac Garcia, Casey McClure, Eduardo Adremundo,
Anahi, Karla, Leaños.
Alonso Mario Lopez.
and there's so many more that we can name.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's so many children, and Sofia, Delilah, Eduardo, Miguel. There's so many names that we have already, and we just ask everybody, please don't drink and drive.
Guys, let those be the last names, hopefully, that we hear. And remember, your actions have consequences. If you go out and party, which nobody isn't saying don't go out and celebrate, don't go out and have a drink, go be smart, be responsible, get an Uber. There's some bars that actually offer Uber services for free, I believe, last I remember. There's other options out there. Don't think I'm okay. One thing I've learned is whenever I have to say I'm okay, I'm not. I'm really not. If you say, oh, I can this, I can that, it's not worth the headache. It's not worth the pain. It's not worth anything else that comes with it, not only for yourselves, but for everybody else. Till next time, guys, take care of each other. Go on to Sober Street Movement. Help them out.
Thank you.
Thank you.